Dante develops a cosmology based on moral distinctions of individuals who are each assigned a specific place in the world order. As we've seen, in the development of the different conceptions of the underworld portrayed by the different authors, we can see a reflection of the parallel development of the different conceptions of human individuality and subjectivity. While the question of individual sins or merits is a negligible matter in Homer's Hades, it becomes much more important in the underworld of Virgil. But then, in Dante, this comes to take on supreme importance. Now the individual's moral life is the determining factor in the structure of the universe itself. The cosmological world order is established in order to reward or punish people according to their actions and character. To appreciate the full force of this, think for a moment of the pre-Socratics and their attempt to understand the universe as a purely naturalistic physical system governed solely by natural laws. This was a world that, like our own modern secular view, is entirely indifferent to human values and affairs. The universe consists simply of water or air or atoms floating in the void, and what humans do and what they think about this is a matter of complete indifference. Now, contrast this to Dante's vision, where human action and thought are the ruling principle for the entire world order. The universe exists for human beings and for the purpose of imposing divine justice on them. The conception of the role of humanity is thus catapulted to one of absolute centrality. In contrast to our modern scientific worldview, where the universe is a dark and cold place that doesn't care if I live or die, since I'm so utterly insignificant, in Dante's universe, individuals are important and their moral life is acknowledged by the universe itself. This is a revolutionary vision that can be seen as a further development of the picture that was given by Virgil. Of course, some of the other ancient writers whom we've discussed also believed that human life and activity played an important role in the universe by virtue of the fact that this was of interest to the gods. The way humans behaved influenced the actions of the gods and determined the state of affairs between the human and the divine realm. But Dante's worldview is considerably more developed than just this. He shapes the entire universe in accordance with the meting out of divine justice. The moral life of human beings is essential to the very purpose of the universe itself. This view fit very well with the geocentric conception of the universe, which was embraced by the Church and enjoyed a widespread following up until the Renaissance. Given that humans were the central focus of the purpose of the universe, it only made sense that the Earth was at the center and the sun, and the planets, and the stars revolved around it. Doubts about the correctness of this view began in the 16th century with the work of astronomers Nicholas Copernicus, Johannes Kepler, and Galileo Galilei. Based on both mathematical calculations and empirical observations, these thinkers refuted the geocentric view and argued that the sun was at the center of things, the so-called heliocentric universe. The Copernican revolution can in many ways be seen as the precursor to our modern secular view. It relegates the human sphere to a lesser position in the universe. As Nietzsche says, from this point onward, the human sphere started drifting further and further away from the center of importance, and this has led to a feeling of nothingness. According to the modern scientific view, the universe is unimaginably vast, and the Earth is less than a speck of dust. There are more planets than we can count, and one can only infer that the universe is teeming with life. From this perspective, the human sphere looks utterly insignificant. Even the most important events in world history do not even register as a blip on the radar of the universe. This is a sobering view that's difficult for many people to digest. There's something in us that wants to revolt against this indifference. This sentiment explains in part the continued power of religion in the modern world. Despite all of the cold facts of science, people still yearn for something that it doesn't provide. Although we might smugly laugh at the naivete of Dante when we read his colorful accounts of the punishments of the sinners, nonetheless, he captures something of our intuitions that demand a value and meaning in human life. Most of us probably can't bring ourselves to believe that the details of Dante's descriptions are really accurate as descriptions of the world order, but there's still something about them that we at least hope is true, namely divine justice. As we live our lives, we want to think that our existence has meaning and that our good deeds will be rewarded. Maybe this is true, maybe not, but it's an intuition that even the far-reaching developments of modern science have not been able to extinguish completely.